Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean. Welcome to Manflow Yoga. This workout is a yoga for dads routine. So we're going to be going through some yoga postures to help build strength and mobility that's going to fight the aches and pains of being a dad, particularly a dad who has a newborn baby. So this is something that I've personally been doing for the last couple of months. I have been dealing with chronic back pain as a result of not sleeping as much, as a result of sitting down much more than I'm used to, and feeding the child. So this is pretty much the exact same routine that I've been doing for the last 2 months to help with my own back pain, and it's helping a lot. Happy to share it with you here. We're going to get started on your back. I would recommend you have 2 blocks for this routine. If you don't have blocks, you can use a couple stacks of books or a foam roller, and have a strap nearby just in case we use that. Here we go. So starting on your back, and we're going to work on your core. So your core is really important to having a healthy back, not just stretching, but actually building strength. Start with your knees over your hips. Bring your arms up behind you. Just go ahead and press your arms toward the ground and start squeezing your abs here. So opening up your chest, lengthening your neck, kind of bringing your chin in toward your throat, and breathing in and out of the nose. Maybe moving your knees from side to side to kind of open up your low back a little bit. All right, and then moving to hands to thighs. So I want you to push your hands into your thighs, push your thighs back into your hands, and lift your chest toward the ceiling. So we're kind of doing a modified crunch here. Hands pressing into the thighs, thighs pressing back into your hands to help warm up your core, to make sure that your abs are working. And again, that's going to take the stress out of the low back and address that low back discomfort that many of us are used to. Lift your chest toward the ceiling. Make sure that your chest is pushing up and you're not just craning your head up. Keep your chin kind of relaxed in toward the throat. Push here for about 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then relax down. Bring your feet down. Bring your arms back and up again. Open up through your chest. Squeeze the arms down. And from here, moving into dead bug. So I want you to bring your left hand to your left thigh. Bring your right leg straight out in front of you. Depending on how your back feels here, you can bring it closer to the ground or higher up. If you have more back pain, you might want to bring it higher up. Squeeze your right arm toward the ground. Lift your shoulders. And again, just targeting your abs here. Go ahead and switch sides. Bring your right hand toward the right thigh. Extend your left leg out. Squeeze your left arm down toward the ground. Lift your chest. This is doing a lot. This is doing hips. This is doing core. And this is also doing some shoulder, some posture correction. Switch again. To make this more challenging, lift your shoulders. To make it less challenging, you can kind of relax your back down on the ground. Switch. Chest nice and tall. Legs active, hand pushing into your thigh. One more to each side. Switch. Again, if this is too much, just bring your back on the ground. Switch. And relax. Bring your feet on the floor. Relax your shoulders down. Relax your head down. From here, moving into a recline twist. So bring your legs over toward the right. Bring your right hand on top of your left knee. Squeeze the back of your left arm toward the floor. Lengthen your head. So I want you to get your head as far away from your hips as possible. It might not seem like you can move it that much, but just see if you can get that extra length. And as you're here, I want you to squeeze your abs. So that's a huge theme here. If we can strengthen your core, that's going to take pressure out of the low back, so that when you do find yourself in positions where you're uncomfortable, where you're sitting because you're not using your core, you remember how to use your abs in that position, and you can prevent that discomfort from happening. 2 more breaths here. Hips facing to the outside, torso facing straight up. And again, seeing if you can build some awareness through your abs in this position. All right, switch sides, legs back to the middle. Exhale, bring it over to the left. Left hand to your right knee. Squeeze the back of the right arm down. Squeeze your core, squeeze your hips. Lengthen your head away from your torso, away from your hips if you can. Squeeze the back of your right arm down. So this is working on your lower back mobility as well. So we want to feel the lumbar spine opening up. That's a great way to help with temporarily alleviating discomfort in the low back. The long-term solution is building mobility and strength, and that's what we're doing here. So this is kind of a combination of immediate relief, but also addressing kind of the root causes. Couple breaths more. All right, back to the middle. And from here, moving into a bridge. Press your feet flat into the floor. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, and then press down to your feet to lift your hips. So make sure that you're using your glutes here to lift. Your glutes, your core, those are two muscles that get really weak when we're sitting, when we're not doing a lot. So getting those muscles strong again is going to help with preventing that back pain. You can keep your arms flat on the ground, relax wherever they are. You want to make it more challenging, you can bring your arms up. You can bring them behind you if you want to get a little bit of a shoulder opening. And then from here, to make this a little more challenging, I'm going to have you hover your right leg. Check in with your hips. Make sure that your hips are level. So your left hip is level with your right hip. Make sure that weight is in your left glute. You want to make sure that your back is flat here. So I'm not pressing my chest up too high. I want to keep the back flat. And then go ahead and switch sides. Right foot down, left leg out. Feeling this through your right glute now. Maybe noticing there's some imbalances there. That's a good thing to find out. And then go ahead and plant your left foot. And then from here, I want you to drive your hips even higher. And if you arch your back a little bit here, that's fine. This is actually some good corrective work for your spine, because we spend a lot of time rounding the back. Just make sure that you're building strength here, okay? So using your core, using your thighs, using your back. You shouldn't feel any pinching in your low back. If you feel pinching, bring your hips down a little bit. But hopefully just feeling a nice balance, strengthening through your hips, through your thighs, your core, your glutes. 2 more breaths here. You can also hug your legs toward one another for a little bit more glute and hamstring engagement. Pull your shoulders forward with your feet. Last breath. And then release down. Okay, good job. You're going to flip over into a tabletop position, and we're going to keep with our core strengthening. Again, this is really important. So you're going to do a tabletop position, hands under shoulders, knees under your hips. Lift your belly button up. Extend your left arm forward. Bring your right leg straight back into a bird dog. So 3 breaths here. Hug your right hand and your left knee toward one another. Press your head away from your body. Make sure that you're feeling your abs working just like you would in a plank. Last breath. And release. Switch sides. Right arm up, left leg back. Turn your right palm up so we get to work a little bit on that shoulder mobility. Squeeze your right arm toward the ceiling. Lengthen your torso forward. Make sure that your hips are level, that you're using your abs here. And 2 more breaths. You can also hug your left hand and your right knee toward one another. All right. And then from here, we're going to take it into a side plank, right forearm down. You can stack your knees to start. From there, you can maybe go into legs staggered, or you can stack your feet on top of one another, whichever one is appropriate for you. 3 breaths here. Hug your right forearm and your right foot toward one another. Drive your hips toward the ceiling. 2 more breaths. Open your chest. Make sure this weight is in your upper back. Make sure you're really using your right obliques. And then switch sides. Plant your left forearm. Move to the other side. Again, you can start with your knees down. You can stagger your feet, or you can stack your feet, whichever one works for you. Start the right hand on the right hip, or extend the right arm toward the ceiling. Hug your left forearm and your left foot toward one another. Drive the hips up, really feeling this through your left obliques. Open your chest, pull the shoulder blades together. You want to feel this in your upper back, not so much in the front of your chest. One more big breath. And then release flat onto your chest. We're going to go into a Cobra. Hands under your chest. Extend your legs back. Press the tops of your toes into the ground. Squeeze your abs. Lift your chest. 3 breaths here. Press the top of your head away from your body. And here I really want you to focus on squeezing your thighs toward one another, squeezing your abs as you arch your back safely. No pinching through your low back. Really focus on the core. One more breath. And then release. Okay, from here we're going to go into a plank. So go ahead and push up into a plank. 3 breaths here. Hands under shoulders. Hug your hands and your feet toward one another. If this hurts for whatever reason, you can bring your knees down. You can also, if you want, bring your belly button up. So don't allow your hips to go too close to the ground. You can bring your belly button up if it's hurting your low back. By the way, for any of the postures in this workout, if you feel pain, either modify, figure out a way that doesn't hurt, or just skip it. Discomfort, okay? Pain is bad. All right, and then relax. From here, we're moving into a supported low lunge. So right leg up, left leg back, toes tucked. Use the blocks here. So if you have back pain from rounding forward, we don't want to do any rounding forward. So using the blocks allows us to get into a nice upright position. So you can press down through your feet, use the blocks to support you. If that means that you stack 2 blocks so that you can get a little bit more support to get higher, that's fine as well. All right, so you can kind of use 2 blocks here. As you exhale, sink deeper into the lunge, but make sure that you're building strength here. So I'm squeezing the muscles in my hips. I'm pulling my ribs up away from my hips. Chest is nice and open. If I'm feeling good here, I'll bring the arms up. One more breath. All right, then release. We'll switch sides. Left leg up, right leg back. Again, lots of variations with the blocks. We can go blocks on either side of the front foot. But if you notice that that's making you round forward, then I want you to stack 2 blocks instead. Make sure that you can get your back into a neutral or slightly arched position here. Remember, we are trying to cancel out all of that rounding that we've been doing because we've been sitting, or because maybe you've got a baby wearable and that's causing you to lean forward when you have all that weight in your chest. So we want to make sure that we're kind of doing the opposite to build that counter strength, address that imbalance. One more breath here. All right. We're going to move up into a standing position. Grab a strap, especially if you're tight through the shoulders. Toes together, heels an inch apart. Bring your arms overhead for a standing side bend. Deep breath in. As you exhale, lean toward the right, press your hips toward the left. Stay strong through your thighs and your core. So I want you to stay as tall as you possibly can. Don't worry about depth in the bend. I want you to make sure that you're maintaining strength as you bend here. So thighs are engaged, your knees are locked out, top of the head presses up, abs engaged. One more breath here. And then back to the middle. You can bring your arms closer together. That was easy. And as you exhale, switch sides. Hips toward the right, leaning toward the left, locking out your knees, squeezing your thighs, top of the head up, arms squeeze back. And again, here, really focusing on that hip and core engagement. We get pain in your back because there's a lack of hip strength, there's a lack of hip mobility, and there's a lack of core strength and lack of spinal mobility. So we're going through all of that in this routine. One more breath. All right, back to the middle. One more bend here, standing back bend. Squeeze your arms back, lift your chest up. Keep your low back neutral. Lift your chest toward the ceiling, squeeze the arms back. 2 more breaths. And then release. All right, from here we're gonna move into a squat hold, feet about hip width distant. Bring your butt down and back. Bring your arms out in front of you. Turn your palms to face up. 3 breaths here. Make sure that there's no pain in your back as you're doing this. If you feel pain in your back, make sure that your back isn't rounded. Make sure that you're using your abs. Make sure the weight is in your hips. You can squeeze your arms up high if you want to challenge your shoulder mobility a bit more. And 1 more breath here. And then stand up. Release your hands down. All right, from here we're moving into a high lunge. If you feel uncomfortable in the high lunge, right leg forward, left leg back, you can also take your left knee to the ground. Now we're gonna do some twist. Twisting here, really good for your thoracic spine. Also really good for alleviating additional tension in your low back. So you're gonna start with a breath, inhale your arms up. And as you exhale, turn toward the right, extend your arms in opposite directions, level with the shoulders. And then inhale back up, come back to the middle. And again, twist toward the right. So we're doing 5 of these. And as you twist, try to go a little bit deeper into the twist. But make sure that your hips stay facing forward. So you'll feel a lot going on in your mid and your upper back here. That's a good thing. We want to feel strength building. Remember, not just stretching, but actually building strength. And go ahead and stand back up and switch sides. Right leg back, left leg forward. Bring your arms up. Go ahead and get set in this lunge position. Your hips are forward. Glutes, your thighs are engaged. Ribs are nice and lifted away from the hips, so you've got a nice long torso. And as you exhale, twist toward the left. Right arm forward, left hand back, squeezing that left shoulder back. Inhale back, arms up. Exhale again, twist toward the left. 5 of these twists. So this is a really nice combination, right? We're working hip mobility, hip strength, core strength, but also spinal mobility. So all of those things that I talked about addressing in this high lunge twist. Does take some warmth to get there, but really effective when you're doing it properly with all the right muscles working. All right, and then go ahead and stand up. 1 more pose in our feet, and then we're going to take it down to the ground to finish up. Stand on your right foot. Lift your left knee up to hip level for a standing 1-leg balance. Squeeze your whole right thigh, your right glute. Bring your arms up, squeeze the arms back. Remember, working on that shoulder mobility. So as you're squeezing your arms back, I want you to feel the muscles between your shoulder blades in your upper back working. Make sure that you're not bending that right knee forward, keeping that leg straight. And then to challenge yourself more, squeeze the left knee higher. 1 more breath here. And release. Switch sides, stand on your left foot, bring your right knee up to hip level. Press the top of your head up. Really push down hard through your left foot. Feel your whole left thigh, your left hip engage. Bring your arms up. Squeeze the arms back. Again, really focusing on that chest opening. You can also do goalpost arms here if you want to change it up a bit. Just make sure as you're exhaling, you're increasing the intensity of this. You're bringing your right leg higher, you're pressing down and squeezing harder through your left leg, and you're squeezing your arms further back. 1 more breath here. All right, release your feet, From here, take it down to the floor, and we're finishing up. Take it into a forearm plank. If it's not comfortable to do a forearm plank, you can bring your knees to the floor. Otherwise, bring your knees off the ground. Make sure your hips aren't sagging here. Lift your belly button up. You actually want a little bit of flexion to your spine here in a forearm plank. 3 breaths. To make this more challenging, hug your elbows and your feet toward one another. Lengthen your head away from your neck, pick your belly button up, squeeze your hands and your elbows toward your feet. All right, release down. From here, full locust. Bring your arms along your sides, palms face up. Reach your legs back, squeeze your thighs up, squeeze your abs, lift your chest. Now, only do this to the depth that you can without pain. Okay, so no pain in your back here. If this hurts, I want you to just keep your chest flat on the ground. Keep everything on the ground. Squeeze your arms up. Do your best to engage through your abs and your thighs, but don't actually lift. If it doesn't hurt, lift your thighs, lift your chest. You're not trying to get as high as you possibly can here. More so focusing on your hamstrings, your abs, your core, and your upper back strengthening. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Release. And then final pose, moving into a child's pose. However, it is comfortable, okay? So for me, when I was first doing this, my child's pose looked like this. This is all I could do. I couldn't get my chest toward the floor. So I want you to start with your knees wide, big toes touching, and kind of with your chest upright like you see me here. Notice that my back is really flat here. I'm not rounding it all through my spine. As you progress, as your back starts to hurt less, you can bring your chest closer to the floor. Just make sure there's no pain. If you feel that tinge through your low back, don't push it. It's not going to help you if you push into that. Focus on what you can do without pain, and your recovery is going to be a lot faster. If you do continue to do things that annoy you, even if it's just testing to see whether or not it annoys you, it's going to set you back multiple days. Every time that happens, another setback. So again, really avoid that pain. And you can hang out here for a couple more breaths if that feels comfortable. If it feels more comfortable to come up into kind of this kneeling position that you're in here, that you see me doing, I find this helps because I don't have that propensity to bend into my low back. I can work a little bit on my core strength, my hips here. Do that if you want. Or again, hang out in that child's pose. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that workout. Dads, if you are looking for an easy way to get started with man-flow yoga, yoga in general, we've got a brand new 7-day challenge that we just launched. 7 workouts, each of them about 15 minutes in length. Daily emails to help hold you accountable. Make sure you're doing the workouts. That is now available. You can sign up for free at the first link in the description below. As an added bonus, I'm also going to give you a free previously members-only routine, the Head and Neck Essentials workout. This is really helpful for us new dads, especially because we've got a lot of tension in the neck, a lot of tension in the shoulders. So this is a really great routine for addressing that. You're going to get that for free when you sign up for the 7-day challenge as well. So do that now. Don't go away. Go sign up for the 7-day challenge. You're going to love it. You're going to get so much out of it. And then if you haven't already subscribed to this YouTube channel, we put out new content as often as we can. And this is a really great way to help learn how you can get stronger with yoga. If you like the video, be sure to like, comment, leave questions, leave feedback, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.